Here is the second example that I'm doing where I'm finding the average rate of change over a certain interval. If you are not sure what I'm talking about, I would go back and watch the first example that I did. But here's just an additional example. This time, the interval is -3 to 0. So between the x values of -3 to 0, I'm going to find the average rate of change on this graph or this function, which is a cubic function. So I'll show you the graph at the end of the video. Now, like I explained in my previous video, when you see rate of change, think slope, because we will be using the slope formula. The first step is I need to figure out the 2 points that I will be putting into the slope formula. My first x value in the interval is -3, so I will be plugging that into the function g of x. So every x is going to become -3. And you really need to remember your order of operations when you're doing a problem like this. So first is exponents. I'm going to start with -3 to the third power, and I am ignoring the 1/3 in front of it for now. So -3 to the third is -27. And our order of operations say that we must go to multiplication next. So I need to do 1/3 times -27. If you're not very good with fractions times whole numbers, put the whole number over 1. That might help you out. And what we're going to do is just multiply straight across. 1 times -27 is -27. 3 times 1 is 3. And then we can simplify our fraction. That would be -9. And -9 plus 2 is -7. So my x value was -3. That's the input. The output is -7, which is our y value. So we just found the point -3, -7. That means -3, -7 exists on this cubic function's graph. I'm going to move on and do the same thing with the other end of my interval, which is an x value of 0. Oops. I don't know why that happened. Okay. So we're plugging in 0. Order of operations, we're going to do 0 cubed, which is still just 0. And now we multiply. Anything times 0 is still 0. So our output here is 2. So our second point is 0, 2. Once you have your 2 points, use your slope formula and you're done. So I will use x1, y1 on the first point, x2, y2 on the second point. All right, remember your slope formula. And then I'm going to have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. These negatives become positive here. Simplify. And we get an average rate of change of 3. So that is your final answer. Next, I'll show you what the graph looks like. just so you have a visual representation of what we're doing here. Here's our point, -3, -7. Here's our other point, 0, 2. What I did was I found the slope between these 2 points, which is the average rate of change between -3 and 0 on this cubic function. So this function is not a straight line, which is why we're finding the average rate of change. On average, how much are we increasing or decreasing between these two x values? So we're increasing by 3/1, +3.